I am not beholden to anyone, including county. I am only beholden to the voters. And only some of us are listening.
Hold on. Okay. Okay. That's why we're going to start with you. Okay.
I've been playing the game.
Do you have endorsements, and do you feel, why should we feel that...
To the National Organization of Women? Who else were they going to endorse? Think what you just said.
Okay. Let's rephrase it.
Rephrase that question.
Who do you have, who's endorsing you, which unions or politicians are endorsing you, and why should we believe
I started this out. No politicians have endorsed. I told you, I don't know anybody. What? Has he endorsed me, Ari?
I think you put it everywhere on
Where?
the website.
Oh, really? Yeah. You saw it on my website? I don't even know how to access my website. I have to learn. No, I don't have to do nothing.
They're elected officials because they're elected. They were elected by constituents, by you. So I would be proud to get more endorsement from elected officials, and I'm proud to get endorsements from elected officials like Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, who was endorsed last year by overwhelming majority of Frum community, of Russian-speaking community, of Chinese community, and so on. So I'm not ashamed of being endorsed by Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. I'm not ashamed of being endorsed by Dominic Reke. I'm not ashamed.
Endorsed by the UFT.
I said today, in order to deliver, even to Frum community, you need to work within the system. You need to talk to all players. All unions are important players in New York City. So you need to know how to play.
Why should we believe you're not beholden to those endorsements?
Because I just gave several examples when I didn't listen to the party. I went against party many times, and I was honest at every union interview. I did not get many unions I went for interview because I'm an honest person. I said straightforward to their face, this is what I'm for, this is what I'm against. And many times I said for example, I'm totally for stop and frisk. I said I'm against racial profiling, but I'm for safety of my children. So I didn't get several endorsements because I was honest. And I would be honest with you, you will never regret to elect me because you will get what you see. Person who always says the truth.
Okay.
Journalists. First of all, it's my turn.
And very proud of it.
Not in my time. First of all, I'd like to say that, Teresa, you have the National Organization of Women's endorsement, which I don't know how you could represent this community when they have an agenda with gays and lesbians, if you take a look at their website. But on the other hand, I have endorsements from all the police unions, from the top to the bottom. I have endorsements of the Sanitation Workers Union, and I'm proud of it, because I'm proud to have the endorsements of two unions that we rely on, the city services each and every day, cleaning our streets, and public safety. I also went for an interview to the bus drivers union, and I went there out of respect. And I told them that for several months, our children had no buses to go to school. Working parents had to drive the children for several months to go to school, and I don't want your endorsement. Sure enough, a week later, I get something in the mail, and I got endorsed by the bus drivers union. So I called them up, and I asked them, why did you endorse me? I begged you not to endorse me. And the answer was, from all the candidates that came to them for an interview, they told me you were the most sincere, and that's why we endorsed you. So I said, thank you very much, and that better not happen again, what you did with the strike. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we'll go to closing statements.
And I fear for everybody in this room who's able to listen to this bubamaises that's been said and not understand what's really been happening. But the one thing that I want to promise you is I'm here to tell you what I can do and what I can't do. I'm not here to blow smoke and make great promises.
I ran before in 2006 for New York State Assembly. This is my third race as a candidate. I'm a proven vote getter. and I promise to be a strong voice for your community, for our community in New York City Council. Thank you so much. I'm ready to take any questions.
Thank you. Fine Dutch.
Thank you, Ari. I never felt so tall up here. When my father was 15 years old, he lived his teenage years like millions of others. He was in the Auschwitz death camp. He saved countless lives, smuggling and bringing in potato peels for others, for children and seniors alike. There was one thing my father taught me. When others are in need, you must be there. Never turn your back. After he left Auschwitz, he was transferred to Mattenhausen. And that was the first time that he smiled. When he was giving the ID number of 124812, he realized that when you add it up, it comes to Chai. And that's when he knew that him, my father, as well as those that were attached to him, will survive the death camps. I've been in public service now for over 22 years. I have worked for the City Council for 17 years. I have lived in Midwood for 24 years. I have founded the Flatbush Shalom Safety Patrol and served as Vice President of the Council of Jewish Organizations of Flatbush. And I was on many boards of different organizations. Being on a board is just a name, but I was hands-on. When it came to dealing with our children at risk, I was out there on the streets, working with parents and children alike. When it came to our community's children, for those that couldn't afford the day camps in the summer, I was there to make sure that the day camps are affordable. This way they could prepare themselves for the new school year. I was always available 24 hours a day to help the people, to help those in need. I helped with crucial city services, whether it was cutting bureaucratic red tape to get things done, ensuring to have proper sanitation and police services during the holidays. I was fighting overzealous city agencies issuing unwarranted summonses. I was also there and available during blackouts and outages to ensure safe and expeditious outcomes. When it came to our seniors and children that went missing, I was out there with hundreds of volunteers to locate them and bring them back safely to their families. Most recently by Hurricane Sandy, when thousands of people got affected, I was in those areas with hundreds of volunteers, giving out food, hot food, blankets, heaters, and all the necessities for them to survive and get by. With my experience in public service for over 2 decades and working with the City Council for 17 years, I am asking for your help. The help that my father entrusted in me and taught me by helping those in need and being there for everyone. I'm asking you to vote for me on September 10th to make you help me as your next elected official and your advocate in the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. How are you going to balance the Orthodox Jewish needs, the Russian community's needs? How do you feel as the next City Councilman you will be able to resolve that?
Well, first of all, I'm a Brooklynite. When we're talking about the district, it's a district that I grew up in. The politicians may have changed the street here or there, but overall, this is a district that is predominantly Jewish. And within Jews, sure, we have certain differences, but we're all here. We have the same basic needs to make sure that we prosper, our children do well. So, I mean, unless there's a very specific question as to balancing, I'm not quite sure, because I think we all care about our families, about making a living, not paying taxes that are deprive our family of of having some disposable income, and to make sure that our kids go to good schools, get educated, and are happy. So I'm not quite sure what the differences are.
In my short introduction, I forgot to mention that for 2 years I worked for United States Congressman Michael McMahon, helping all kinds of constituents, everybody working in office, getting help on every possible issue, veterans issues, Medicare, dead cat on a driveway, any kind of transportation issue, any kind of health issue. I remember I helped one war veteran with his VA benefits. 2 years in Congressman office helped me a lot to learn more about federal issues and about city government as well, because it was a green book. Every city agency you need to call. People do not differentiate city, state, federal. They come for help. They need help. No matter who, no matter what, they need help. And I was always ready to help. Also, I worked for 2 years for New York City Controller and learned a lot about waste, fraud, and abuse in city government. When you cut waste, fraud, and abuse, it helps across the board, every single community. For me, it's very easy. Before Brighton, I lived in Midwood. Before Midwood, I lived in Borough Park. To me, I was asked like a few days ago, what is our community? I said, everyone here is my community.
At the beginning of my campaign trail, I was told that I cannot run, I should not run in this district because it's a Russian district. I started off when I first campaigned at Astor Levy Park. There was a table with about 12 Russian Americans sitting at the table. And I walked over to them and spoke to them for about 10 minutes. One looks up at me and says, if you're running in this district, you should speak Russian. My answer was that during Hurricane Sandy, when I was at Brighton Beach Avenue and Coney Island Avenue, giving out the blankets, the heaters, the food, and the shoes, now one person that were lined up asked me if I spoke Russian. And the answer is, it doesn't make a difference what culture you're from, what language you speak, it's how you deliver. And I'm working for Councilman Nelson for 14 years. I've been working in this most diverse district, and I have proven time and time again that the people in this district got what they needed and what they deserved. And that's my answer.
When you get into your nice car and I get into my nice car, we go over the same potholes every day. When I decide to go to a park and it's broken, our parks in this district haven't seen money in 12 years. We share that same problem at our parks. We share the same antiquated sewers that caused all the backup during the hurricane. Not so much the water, but the sewer backups, because our infrastructure is falling apart before our eyes. So it doesn't matter, Russian, non-Russian, Jew, Christian, Gentile, we all share the same.
Just today I released a statement calling for creation of a beachfront kiosks to bring more revenues to New York City without raising new taxes and new fees, without squeezing middle income families. And I have many other creative ideas. I believe in these times we need to be more creative, how not to punish families. I believe I will be able to create coalitions. I have very good relationship across the board also as an ethnic journalist. I have very good relationship with Asian American community and many other communities across New York City.
Thank you. Try to keep it short. Let's go, please.
Well, I haven't chased it for unions endorsements. I don't owe anyone anything. And the unions are the ones that drain us completely. And what I'm looking to do is, that I've done for the last several years, building bridges from different communities, and in this most diverse district, to bring all communities together and work together to bring those resources in that we all share and have common goals.
We're focusing on you know, what we're going to be drinking, what we're going to be eating. It's like Richard Simmons has taken over City Hall. So I'm against it, and I think it's just simply silly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Bloomberg's third term, I think, put him off his rockers. He has no right to tell me what size drink I could drink. He has no right to tell me how to live, which he has tried to do over and over.
One accomplishment.
One accomplishment is helping our youth.
Okay, Ari?
Of course, my biggest accomplishments are my two great children, but also I wanted to mention that I'm a vice president of the Holocaust Memorial Committee, and I was there since day one of the creation of this park. And again, I condemn Mayor Bloomberg for trying to put there some stones and markers without opinion of Holocaust Memorial Committee and from community.
Ari, so what's your biggest accomplishment?
My beautiful children.
Okay, next. Igor.
I can't compete on children, but Ari has two. We have Chaim that has 5. I only have a beautiful one child who's 2.5 years old. Yes, he's my greatest personal accomplishment. Or my professional accomplishment has been to be the first Russian-American judge that has been working for the city of New York.
Okay, Teresa.
No two ways about it. Maintaining a family, my husband, who I adore, and my 2 children.
Thank you. Teresa, hold on to the mic. What do you believe is the biggest challenge facing New York City today?
Money. I
Okay.
think next year, honestly, I think we are following Detroit. If the next mayor agrees to sit down with the unions and give them 4 years retroactive pay, we will be bankrupt.
And to be ready for any next natural disaster or any kind of other emergency situation, recent problems with 911 emergency calls and all kinds of issues with sewing systems and transportation systems. We are not ready for a big time, and we're having problems that we had 20 years ago, 10 years ago. We're still having these problems. I think that New York City is still not ready for the next huge disaster, so we need to make sure that federal, state, and city resources are used properly, and this district suffered tremendously after Sandy. This should be the priority for the next council.
Thank you. Chaim?
High taxes, high water bills, and the cost of living.
Okay, you mentioned you mentioned children. So which schools do your children go to? And how do you feel about private education?
Smell coffee. Do you think I have children that are still in school?
No, have gone to, I'm sorry.
It's a compliment. I love it, but my children are a little older than that.
Yes, what schools have they gone to, and what do you feel about private education?
I will tell you straight up
Government
and down.
supporting education.
I went to private school. I went to parochial elementary and high school. I went to an all-girls high school. My son went to an all-boys high school, parochial, and so did my daughter. Private, parochial, all the way.
Okay, so you're for support of parochial schools.
Full support of private,
Good.
parochial.
Excellent, thank you. Keep it short.
This is one of the questions that's about character and integrity, and really it's asking us in a nice way, but the question is, do you support vouchers or not? And I'm going to tell you something just straight out, that there's a lot of pandering when it comes to coming in and trying to get people's votes, and they go, yeah, we're going to get vouchers. Let me tell you something, vouchers something, a reality check isn't going to happen for private schools. But what will happen as a parent, as somebody who believes in parent choice, is we have to work to make sure that water and sewer bills are lowered, electrical is lowered, so that you'll be able to make sure you're looking at me, to Teresa. Maybe you want to look at Ari, who has accepted the endorsement of UFT, and on the same breath says that he supports vouchers. So integrity and character, thank you.
Thank you. Ari?
I will fight for realistic, doable solutions for tuition tax credits on the city level, for...
What school do your children go to?
I'm very proud of my children, as I said. My son is a graduate of Cunningham School, then he graduated from Brooklyn Tech, then he was for 2 years student at Baruch College, and then he said, Daddy, I know you graduated from Baruch College, you're very proud of it, but you know what, I'm not like, I was 10 months old when I came, and then he switched to Vanderbilt University, now he's his last year. He's graduating next year from the Vanderbilt University. He received $50,000 a year scholarship, and I'm very proud of my son.
Good.
Economics
Keep it short,
and
keep it short, and how do you
my
do
daughter
private
went to
education?
PS 253.
PS
Both of them went to Jewish camps every summer. My daughter is still in Jewish camp this summer.
What do you feel about private education?
I am for tuition tax credits, which is a realistic, doable solution on a city level. If anybody tells you differently, on state level, I'm running for New York City Council, and I promise to fight for tuition tax credits for yeshiva families. I promise to fight for public buses, which is very important also for yeshiva families. And also I support Councilman David Greenfield bill to have more security officers in every schools, public and private. And I never lied, and I never lied in my life. I'm an honest person.
Ari just mentioned, he mentioned you have UFT endorsement. Would that be a contradiction to your support for parochial owned private schools?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In order to deliver for Frum community, in order to deliver for every community in this district, you need to work within the system. You need to have a conversation with everybody, with unions, outside of unions, inside the unions. Even to fight unions, you need to know whom to talk to. So on this specific issue,
is against that.
when I was interviewed by on that specific issue, I said I'm for tuition tax credits. They know my position, and on city level, it is absolutely possible. It will benefit all parents, including yeshiva parents.
You feel that even though you have UFT support, you will be fully supporting the private schools?
Absolutely, yes. Answer is yes, absolutely. I will deliver.
Yeah, Ari, there's one promise I make, and that's the only promise I would ever make, is I promise never to promise. But when I went down to the UFT, I walked into the office, and I said to them, I don't want your endorsement. But I'm here out of respect, and I'm going to come answer the questions and what my issues are. I have 4 children in private education, and God willing, in a couple of years from now, I will have a grandchild in private education. I'm 100% for it.
Okay. Hold on to that. Let's go to this one. Do you support, and to yes or no answer, please keep it to yes or no. Do you support casinos in Coney Island?
Absolutely not.
Ari?
Absolutely not. I was member of Stop Casino at Coney Island Coalition.
Yes or no? Yes or no? We got to move.
No, I don't support it.
Okay.
Go.
No.
Okay. I guess no is okay. All right. Next, what is okay? Who again? It's a one-word answer. Let's do this fast. If elected, who is the political leader you would want to emulate most? Ari, you can start with you.
I love Chuck Schumer. Senator Chuck Schumer.
Okay, Chaim?
Rudy Giuliani.
Okay. You go.
Mr. Brooklyn, my boss, Marty Markowitz.
Okay, Teresa?
George Bush.
Good for you.
Okay.
Which one?
Okay, Teresa, hold
Which
it.
one? One or two?
Take your choice. I'd go with either one of them.
Okay, Teresa, hold on to the mic.
I like that the question was phrased as having moral standards, because that's a little bit to the character and integrity question that I originally introduced myself with. Everybody in the audience is smart enough, and when you hear that I got a UFT endorsement, but I'm going to give you vouchers, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm for affordable housing, but I got hundreds of thousands of dollars from the biggest developers. Well, you know what? I'm telling you what to have. You have to have a moral compass. So I'm telling you. I'm not talking even about myself. I'm talking about the people in the audience to make a decision. Who has integrity? Who has character? And when you sit here and you look at the people and you say, I'm gonna get you vouchers, that's pandering. That's nonsense. It's not gonna happen. And you should understand that. You should be smart enough to see through the bullshit, okay? So I'm telling you somebody who's here and somebody who's going to make a difference. I'm not bought. And when he was asked, give the money back, don't do it, he didn't do it. There's a difference, there's a moral standard, there's integrity.
Okay, let's go. It's enough. Thank you. Let's go. Okay. Please don't interrupt. We want respectful forum.
But what I would like to do is to put the cops back on the beat, to tackle quality of life issues. When you call that precinct station house, that phone better be answered. When you call about the blocked driveway, they better respond. I'm looking to take away those quality of issues from my constituents and put it on my shoulders. My wife's in the back, she doesn't like that one. I'm looking to take away the quality of life issues of my constituents, and that my constituents should focus on family values and work. And we have to make sure that the struggling families could focus on what's important to them. And yes, city services are slow, the money is not there. Waste baskets on commercial strips are not being picked up properly. going all over the place. I have been a big fighter for graffiti removal. Not only have I fought to clean the streets with graffiti, I have personally witnessed and called 911 and apprehended through the police department graffiti artists. I'm looking to continue to improve the quality of life through these city agencies. But in 2010, when she was interviewed why she joined the community board, her answer was that the community board had seniors.
That's a lie.
And they cannot focus.
Get it true.
When Teresa Scavo advertised in the Image magazine, and the author had a name of Kim Grill, that wasn't the name of the author. Was that? Was it Kim E. Grill that wrote that article for the Image magazine, or was that a novel? The author is sitting in this room, ladies and gentlemen. This community is being fooled by our politicians.
What kind of a cat is that?
Are you having a good time?
Yes. Do it again. Do it again.
I had a party.